Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Blake, aka PoshBossBlake, and today we're having lunch. So get your food, grab your snacks, come on back. We're gonna talk it out. I'm gonna answer all your questions. You guys had a lot of questions, which I'm very excited to get to. So quickly, before we get into it, if you're new here, hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. This is Have Lunch With Me, a bi-weekly series that I'm starting on my channel so that we can have somewhat of a conversation between you and I. So how it works is you guys ask me questions about reselling, about life, whatever, and I answer them while we eat lunch. So if you're triggered from people eating food with their mouths full, etc., sorry, but I guess it's like a mukbang. But I'm not cooking the food. I've already got it prepared. And if you want to follow me, you can find me on everything social at PoshBossBlake, as well as my website, poshbossblake.com, where you can get custom note cards for your reselling needs. So what's for lunch today? What are you having? Leave it in the comments below because a bunch of you said you really liked the chicken that I had last week. And if you want to check out that video, it'll be somewhere up here. And the chicken was delicious. And I also have chicken again today, but in a different format. So for Weight Watchers, this is a low point lunch. Well, kind of low. So I've got 2 slices of bread. Each slice is 2 points, but when you have 2, it becomes 3 points. It's part of the calculations, don't worry. For my dessert, I have a little clementine, a little cutie. Also, sidebar, who's in charge of naming fruits? Like, is it the farmers that were like, oh, we have these little clementines and they're so cute, cuties? Like, who's in charge of that? I would love to know. And then I've got a bunch of my butter lettuce sheets. These are fresh. These are freshly rinsed. You can still see that there's water on them. Ooh, dripped. Or maybe you can't, but these are fresh. And what I'll do is I'll make a little sandwich. What's the main thing, you ask? Oh, I've got chicken today. And not grilled chicken, not ground chicken. What is it? It's just like chicken, like not tuna from a can, chicken from a can. I really love it. It's in water, obviously, drained, with 2 tablespoons of avocado oil or olive oil based mayo. And today what I'm gonna add as a sprinkle on my sandwich once it's all made is the Everything But the Bagel sesame seed seasoning from Trader Joe's. And it's just like onions and sesame, sea salt, garlic, onion, etc. It's so good. If you have a Trader Joe's, highly recommend picking this up. I'm sure you probably know about it, but if you're unaware of what TJ has to offer, if this is available on the internet, I'll link it in my Amazon store so you can get some. It's perfect for everything: omelets, bagels, like just throwing it into like, I don't know, like on top of spices, on top of spices. Oh my god, on top of dishes, like pasta dishes, etc. Whatever you need, it's got everything in here and it's perfect. So we stand. And then for my beverage today, we just have some water, but I am gonna spice it up. And for those of you who want to know, this is Ralph Lauren Crystal flatware or serveware, I guess. So I love that. I did work in the interior design space, so just remember that. What I'm gonna have with it though is this cute little disc. No, it is not Emergency. Love. It'll turn it like orangey yellow. It is something called Barocca. Not quite sure how to say it. And this was purchased from the UK, but here's the tube. This is available in the States. You can find it at Target and places, but from a previous boss I had, she lived by these. She lived by these because this particular one is energy in the form of 7 B vitamins to help release your energy and supports mental performance. So it's just like basically a vitamin. These are purchased overseas, particularly when I visit my uncle, etc., because they can add caffeine into them. You cannot get the caffeine version, similar to if you were growing up in the age of Four Loko, like I was in college. The good Four Loko had the caffeine, and then they had to take the caffeine out. So yeah, if this is also available, I'll link this with the Everything Bagel down below, so you can get your crunchy, thirsty drinks on. So let's make like a cute little sandwich, and then we'll get into it. So what I'm just gonna do is put some on the bread, And we will just make a cute little Sammy. You guys, the weather today, no, it's still raining. It's raining. It's rained like for 4 days in LA this week. And we've had a lot of rain recently in general, which is great because I would love to go see how green everything is. But you can't. They closed all the hikes and because so many people are going to them. I would love to go hike. I love hiking. That's something that when I started the YouTube channel, it was like winter. So like hiking, I don't know. I did it, but it wasn't as much as like when I go hiking in the summer. But hopefully that'll change because I am an outdoors person. I love being outside and getting the sun on my skin. I think I've said that before. With SPF, of course. And, you know, SPF, sorry, something fell. SPF on my lips, you know, protecting everything. Also, ladies and guys who are watching, make sure the guys in your life are wearing lip balm with SPF in it. Like, one of the #1 cancers for men is skin cancer, particularly on their lips. So, just be mindful of that. Oh, some of these have seeds. Ew. Okay, so we've got the Sammy. We'll do 3 pieces of butter lettuce. Also, who's OCD? Like, I have the end of the butter lettuce here, so I need to balance it out with the end of the butter lettuce here, and then the end of the butter lettuce here. I'm OCD. Just like when I make a breakfast sandwich. Oh, maybe next week we'll have a breakfast together. I don't know. But when I have my turkey bacon, I fold the slices in half and then I align them on the bread. Like, this is the folded side, this is the non-folded side, this is the folded side. So it like balances out evenly on the sandwich. I don't know if that's OCD or just being very particular. I can eat it other ways, of course, but all right, so you guys, that's the sandwich. Let's, you know, cheers and let's take a bite. Some people were commenting, sorry, my mouthful, on the last video. Oh my god, you're taking like such little bites. Well, yeah, because I don't want to seem like a beast, but I know you didn't come for just like the mukbang vibes, so I want to be able to like talk enough. But we actually have a lot of questions, you guys. You guys really came through with Instagram and even on my YouTube community post about this being a thing. So let's actually start with the YouTube questions. The first one is from Princess Hannah 1. Since you are not working anymore, could you see making reselling as your full-time job once this craziness is all over? Love ya. Love you too. Thank you so much for watching and participating. Could I see this being my full-time job? So from previous videos, and I can't link to just one because I say this quite frequently, my cost of living is very high as a single person in the part of LA that I live in, West Hollywood. But that said, I normally, my answer is no, because it's too much. And the amount of stuff I would have to sell is overwhelming, and I just don't have the space as well. I live in a studio. So, that said, oh my god, you guys, I don't know if I said this is mango flavor. It's so good. Post this business, or this situation, I don't know because I think the more this goes on, we all don't know what the future is looking like, and I'm choosing to focus on the bright side. I'm choosing to push through and, you know, focus on the future and knowing that this will one day bring us back to like a normal situation. But I say normal very loosely. I don't think normal, to be quite honest, I don't think normal will be what we thought it was. Also, I forgot my seasonings. I think, and this is my opinion, and it's not a conspiracy. I just think that people maybe still don't understand like how severe this is, and even if everything was perfect, like tomorrow, like if someone said 8 a.m. you can do whatever you want tomorrow, that wouldn't work. But at the same time, I really don't know any small businesses that are thriving. Like, aside from like being in industries that are still selling, like fashion, like Poshmark, like eBay, people are still buying things, especially clothing. Like I don't even know what the number is, but many restaurants in LA, whether they were the top tier, like the Vanderpump Rule ones, or the local coffee shop down the street, a lot of them are not open. A lot of them can't even furlough their employees, because that also generally indicates you have to keep paying for your employees' healthcare benefits if that was offered from your company. So who knows how those small businesses will bounce back, because I mean, people are going to look at this opportunity in two different ways. I'm choosing to be the person that's focusing on the future and like, what can I make of this during this time, but knowing I potentially have a job to go back to, potentially. But at the same time, I know people, this is their first time being let go or fired. But I just, if you're one of those people, or you have a friend that might be spiraling or like getting crazy mentally because they're just freaked out about the whole situation, I get it. Being let go is like never easy, but just this circumstance and being let go due to this is very, very different. And I think it's very important that people know that it's not their fault. I mean, circumstances aside, if you were like a bad employee, etc. But for the most part, if you're being let go because of circumstances in the world, we're going to be taken care of, right? I can't believe I'm saying that, but like, there's no way, I'm not trying to go down a spiral, but there's no way as of today, 16.5 or 6 million people who filed for unemployment can just like be forgotten about or like not assisted. So who knows how long that will continue and like what support we'll get, but I think we'll be okay. And it's a really good opportunity to, I mean, it's hard to do this, but relax and enjoy this time. We are a country, we are like one of the countries in the world that are so focused on business and work, have a baby, go back to work, get surgery, go back to work. But like, now we have this time, whether you're working or not, we have this time, we have more family time, we have more time with whoever. I'm gonna keep that to mostly family. Your definition of family, because that's broad. But I mean, I just lost my train of thought. But we have this time. Let's embrace it. Like, listen, I would love to hug someone. I have not been able to hug someone for about a month now. I never thought I wanted to hug so bad, but like, I'm alone in my apartment and I'm personally stir crazy a bunch. And when it rains, I can't really go out. So I'm really just like, I'm sitting at my kitchen table or I'm in my bed. So I try to stay busy, but who knows what the future of working will look like. And let's pick this back up, because that was a serious answer for a serious question. Cindy Nori, post current situations. Oh my gosh. How often will you go to the Goodwill bins or stores to resell? P.S. I love your videos. They definitely cheer me up during these uncertain times. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate that. I think, again, to tie into my previous statement, who knows? Who knows if I'm going to want to be quite honest, because I don't know about y'all. The Goodwills where I am, oh no, there are some current circumstances or not, there's already some questionable people, but I feel like it's just going to be amped up, and there might be people trying to be in this industry more than before. But at the same time, back to what I was saying about returning to normal, there's like a solid chance they're doing this in Puerto Rico. You can only go out on certain days and you will get fined or potential jail time if you go out on not your days. And it's all based on, I think, your license plate or something to do with your ID number or something. But they stagger the days that you can go out to like kind of alleviate how many people are out and about for the necessities and things. But yeah, TBD. I mean, I'd like to, but I'm also exploring and doing my own personal research on how to adapt to the business and the changing businesses. Tony B. Hey, Tony B. Let's get to your question in a second. Mm. Oh my God. So good. It's like $1.99, $2. Maybe $2.49. Okay, under $3. This is so good. So good. Okay, let's have another bite. I'm hungry. Tony has a good question. Tony from Texas. Hi. Okay, so Tony asks, what are your favorite brands that you pick up for as far as women's clothing? I tend to focus on high-end women's clothing like St. John/Gucci. I'm taking this time to focus on learning brands for the summer. Any advice would be appreciated. That's a great question slash direction to go in for your business, Tony. Tony from Texas. What brands do I focus on? So I feel like it's always good to become aware of all brands, right? And just kind of part of what's trending will not necessarily align with the brands that you're choosing. So be open to thinking outside of your typical brands to be like, oh, that's like a trendy item that people are buying right now. Let me buy it regardless of the brand. That said, brands for women. I mean, there's so many categories. So activewear, always. Lululemon, as long as you can get it for $4 or less. And I say that because for us, tops here in LA generally run around depends on if the person priced it right. $3.99, $4.99, so under $5. But I would only pick it up if it's in good condition. It doesn't need to have the tag, but it does need to be authentic, and you can get the sizing after you measure. So always Lululemon, always Aloe Yoga, always Gymshark, Madewell, and J. Crew and things of that nature. I personally, recently, for my closet and for my selling, have not been able to move it, regardless of what it is. Like I have a beautiful green olive Madewell jacket that is stunning, like almost like new, probably worn once. Can't even move it. People aren't even looking at it. I know it's maybe the time of year, but regardless, I've had issues moving those brands. But back to what I was saying earlier, if there's something good that's on trend, like current right now, I would still probably pick it up if I got it for a low enough price. I think a big part of the reasoning behind the brands that I'm choosing to buy, like your St. John and Gucci, I would get that too, as long as the profit potential is there. Say you pick up a St. John skirt for 10 or 15 bucks, but that particular skirt's only gonna sell for 20 to 30. Maybe not the best brand to be doing this example with, but no, let's say you get a St. John skirt that you're gonna sell for 100, but your buy-in, your cost for that skirt was 50 bucks. In my opinion, after you list it for more than 50, obviously, you're gonna list it for 100. You're gonna take out say it sells for absolutely 100. You're gonna have to take out that 50 out of your cost, so your profit potential is 50 bucks. Then you're gonna have to take out around 20% around. And I say that because that covers Poshmark and most other places. The 20% fees, shipping, that percentage might fluctuate. So really, you're only looking at like what, 40-ish bucks, which depending on the style of the skirt, the complexity of the item, it might take you time to list it, to research it, to measure it. Is that worth it? I don't like to spend a lot of money up front unless I know, I think I said this in my last Lunch and Learn, unless I know I can get at least 3 to 6 times my money. So I have no problem spending $1 if I know that I can at least make, I mean, if I spend something for $1, I'm probably going to sell it for at least 20. But you know what I'm saying? Like if I'm going to spend $50, I want to at least make 150 to 250, 300 bucks, you know? So I think that plays a part into what brands you should be picking up. Obviously, that's just kind of like the basis of how this runs. But I think going into summer, I think some good brands would be Levi's, but like a vintage style short. Denim always does well all year round, and maybe focus on denim shorts, Levi's or not. Carmar is a really good brand for denim. I learned of that recently. Well, like the past 6 months. I've had some good success there. Mother denim is always good for the most part. I personally am not buying Paige anymore. I have not seen sales from that, which is weird. Because what I have in my closet is priced accordingly and brand new or like new. And I can't even move it. I just relisted it actually, just to see if I could get some new traffic. Just the pictures, but I don't know. Yeah. What else? For women's shoes, what's good women's shoes? I don't really pick up Sam Edelman or Steve Madden, but if they're brand new or like new, I will. Any good brand leather shoe. I know that's what's a good brand. I have so many like LA based brands that I know that probably won't translate well, but what's a good leather shoe company? Everlane. If you can find a good Everlane shoe. Oh, Everlane, Teeks, Rothy's. If you can find any of these, get them. And Teeks and Rothy's, that's a good example of something I would spend a little bit more money for if I knew the profit potential was great. So Rothy's, you can kind of always sell if they're like new or in excellent good condition, you can clean them up, etc., or brand new. They can sell between like 80 and like over the hundreds, because depending on the print, the style, the limited edition of it all. Same for Teeks. Teeks probably don't ever sell below 100 on Poshmark used. Those are crazy. I've never come across Teeks. I didn't know what Teeks were until Poshmark. Those are some good brands, and I hope that gets you started with thinking about things for summer. Good question, Tony. Thank you. Another question from Zori's Corner. Hey, how much time is a no-no to spend at a Goodwill or a thrift store when you don't have bins buying as an option? I feel that when I go to stores, I may be there for 2 hours at a single store. At the same time, since I try to speed through sections, I feel like I miss good finds. What are your thoughts? That's a good question. I personally think, and this, I mean, it depends on my mood. There's days where I have no problem spending my time. And keep in mind, I'm saying this from still being part-time. I know I'm unemployed and I'm still technically part-time with Poshmark and reselling. But my perception is still based off part-time, because I don't have a full-time, I don't have a full-time quantity. I didn't have full-time time. So my timing was limited to really weekends. And what I found was, once you start to go to stores, you kind of maybe understand how many things you can depend on in that visit. But again, roll the dice. But I would say if you have a bunch of stores within close proximity, yeah, maybe only spend an hour or two and try to hit all of them. But you could also spend 2 hours at 2 or more hours at one store, depending on the size, and ruffle through whatever you want to ruffle. I don't go through everything in the store, but it's also because how my store is laid out. So if you have a nicer laid out store where everything is sized, or at least more clean, and there's less foot traffic, why not take the time? Take the time. Like in LA, I would love to spend hours, but there's so many people. There's other people doing what I'm doing, especially if new bins or racks come out and I can't get to them. I'm like, okay, we'll just move on. But it's really dependent on my mood. That's what drives that for me. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. And just because you don't have the bins, I don't think that shouldn't factor in your time. If you're doing this full time and your time is your money, I would say, depending on how many stores you're trying to hit in a day, if that's your goal, like if you have 1 day for sourcing and you want to hit 5 stores, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, you can't do 5 stores in a day with 2 hours. So maybe split it up between days. You do 2 stores this day for 2 hours, and you do 3 stores this day for 3 hours. or, you know, you pick all of them and do 30 minutes at each to do a little challenge, or you do one store for all day. Like, it really, so many things. Okay, great question. Okay, let's eat a little bit more because I am hungry. Wait, I'm gonna try to. No, it's like hard. It's not a shaker. It's not a percussion tool. So good. And the best part, I have leftovers, so when I'm done with the bread, I'll just in the little lettuce cup, like a little chicken taco. Little chicken salad taco. Okay. Oh, this is from my internet friend, Cha-Cha Cakes YT. Teresa, hey. She has a YouTube channel. Cha-Cha Cakes. Check it out. She's, oh my gosh, I found her on the internet, like on a YouTube rabbit hole like years ago. And she does like a lot of Dollar Tree hauls, and she'll do some subscription updates of like, she has like a jewelry one that she does sometimes. She has a really good story. Go check out her channel. Just search Cha-Cha Cakes, CHACHACAKES. And she explains how that name came to be. And she's got a fun family. Oh my gosh. I think I also started, I don't think you'll know this about why I continue to watch you, Teresa, but you remind me of my mom in like, you were just so like open, caring, like not judgmental. You're faithful, or spiritual for those who, you know, might not be recognizing. Maybe that's your path of faith. She's just so sweet and so kind, and she's a teacher. So my aunt is a teacher, and I just appreciate everything she's saying. So give Cha-Cha Cake some love. Okay, didn't mean this to be a shout out, but she's honestly so sweet, and I've been following her for years. Oh, and she does, she loves nails. I love nails. I love nail polish, but because she's, you know, cleaning and working with the kids and stuff, she does a lot of press-ons or stick-on nails, and she's perfected it. So go check her out. Okay, but she wants to know biggest differences between LA and New York. Oh, Teresa, that is a great question. Great question. I could go with that in a million directions. And I think there's a seed. Sorry. Biggest differences. Okay, so obviously just like the physical layout. So when I lived in Manhattan / Brooklyn, I went to work. Let's just focus on Manhattan. I went to work and I would wake up, take the train or walk a couple blocks or walk to work, and then I could just do everything within the island, right? Without a taxi or anything. I never did Uber too much or taxi. That was like a special treat for me because I paid for a Metro card, and that was my mentality behind it. LA, TV is deceiving. LA is very spread out. And I think Teresa, I think you know this because I think she has family here. But LA is very spread out. So to get to Santa Monica, if you're living in Pasadena on a trafficy day, not now, could be like at least 1 hour. At least 1 hour. In miles, that's not that far. I mean, to go 20 minutes, normally it can take an hour. It's nuts. And we don't talk about distance in miles, and I know people laugh, but that's real. Like something could be a mile away, but it might take you a while to get there, depending on what roads you have to take and what time of day traffic is. So that's like the biggest thing. And LA County is very big as opposed to LA City, but I live in West Hollywood, so I'm fine. And I commute or where my job was, it was a close commute, so nothing more than 10 minutes. And I think if you were ever contemplating moving to LA and you were worried about the commute, my recommendation would be move to a location that is adjacent to where your work will be. I know people that do commute, and props to you, but I could not do that. That's not something I want for myself. So that's that. What other differences? Weather. It's consistently more beautiful here every single day, although I say that on a rainy day, but that's rare. I love snow, so I'm not hating on New York. I love, being in like snow bunny mode and bundling up and being all cozy by the fire and stuff. What else is different? Price, cost-wise, like things are pretty similar. Big city to big city, I don't really notice too much of a difference. I will say apartment living is different. So, having a fan in your bathroom, depending on what city you're in, is not always necessary. So, especially depending on the age of the building. But I love that I have a bathroom fan in my bathroom. I know that's silly. What's another good difference that I'm trying to think of? Takeout. No. I don't know. Wait, I'm blanking. Let me eat my sandwich. Hold on. Let me have a bite and let me think of more things. Cause, Biggest thing, obviously, you're on foot in New York. You have a car in LA. I know I talked about traffic, but specifically, in New York, you can do everything by taking your physical body there, walking to the train to get to the subway, to get to the train, to go upstate, or to get to the airport, etc. Here, you can go for a walk, but like you really kind of have to drive everywhere. Like people joke like you in LA you're fit because you or it's the joke that you drive to work out, whereas in like New York you just go work out. That's funny to me. But I mean it's kind of true because there's mountains here, so it could be like a very exhausting hike. Like one in particular that I like to do, not in the summer because it's scary, like heat wise, is by the Greek Theater. It's a gorgeous, kind of steep hike and it's long. So I obviously drive there. And also it's good that I have Swell bottles that I can leave in my car with cold water, because when I'm done with that, especially if it's like a warm day, or maybe I did go in the summer first thing in the morning before it really, really heats up, that sun is no joke. I mean, that's a big difference too. The sun, like we're closer to the equator, so like there is a lot more heat from the sun. And oh, here's something. My tan is much more golden. I don't know if anyone else will experience this. I'm sure it's a thing because of how the sun is hitting us. But I find that when I get tan in the summer, my color is brown, as opposed to my tan in New York being more tan, but like more red, more pink based. And here it's more bronzy because I'm a god. Oh my god, I'm so funny. My asthma. Hope that helps. Hope that answered your question. There's obviously many more too, but those are the big ones. Next, Debbie 043059. That's a interesting last name. Just kidding. What ring light do you use to take photos? I use the newer 18-inch ring light, which is available in my Amazon store. Check it out. I highly recommend it. It's what I use for virtually everything I film. I used to have a box light set up, like 2 box lights, but it was taking up too much space in my apartment, especially with being more involved with YouTube and stuff. I still have them. I still have my lighting kit, but the benefit of a ring light is it's one singular light. I would say if you're photographing dresses though, and that's like a bulk of what you're photographing, might not be the best. You might want to stick with the box lights, because the light is kind of more straight on, and with the box lights you can kind of get it from both sides. And especially if you have to pull back your camera and your lighting to get the length of the dress. Some people might feel differently, but for me it's hard to film something long. So that's that. And that's a great question, Debbie. Ginger Bear 24, hey girl. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Oh my gosh. I've been fortunate to travel a lot of my life. Blessed. But I'm really comfortable here in LA. I don't know. There's like, and if you've moved before, anyone out there, and like maybe you're unsettled from your job or whatever circumstances, like you get a feeling, like I had the feeling in New York, like I need to move somewhere. And then when I found the place or went to the place, I was like, this is it. And I felt ready. I don't feel ready to move, so I'm going to stay in LA because I really enjoy it here. But I think a next possible place would be not in America, which isn't exactly easy in terms of visas and things, especially now. But I kind of am thinking maybe England. I don't know. The reality of that too is very, very, there's a whole lot of legality to that. So I don't know that I can work for myself and go over there. If I did, it would have to be more of like a vacation thing and, maxing out the 3-month visiting periods every so often. I don't know, but that would be like a nice place to live. Also, I do have, my uncle is there and his friends, which are basically family. So, I would love to live there and also be closer to him. He's also like a father figure in my life because, story time for another day. Dad's not really around. So, yeah, I want to be closer to him, especially now. It's like him and I are always the people that are away from the hub of family. So it's, we never get enough time with each other, but we try to make it work, and, we enjoy the time when we do. So, London. Next. This is long. I hope you guys are okay with that. Sorry. Okay. Okay, we'll do 2 more questions, all right? So, 2 more questions. 2 more questions. If you want to see these dance moves, link up to the video here or here. I'm not sure where it's gonna appear. Up here. I'm not sure where it's gonna appear. I'm so nuts. Okay, last 2 questions. From the wardrobe _JM Leb. Hey, could you give me a few quick tips on how to make sales fast / my routine during my lunch? My routine during my lunch? My routine is I make my food and I eat it. Or, I film one of these. But the quick tips on making sales fast, listen, there is no magic formula, because if that was the case, we'd all be millionaires, right? I think it depends on so many things, but having good photographs, having a good cover photo, people want to be able to like know what they're getting. Making sure that cover photo, making sure that it's something that people want. So like right now, people are buying more loungy, activewear, more comfy clothes than ball gowns and dresses and whatever. Those things are still selling, but like, go with what is being purchased and stay up to date with what is selling. Poshmark has a really good tool on their website. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a section that says like what's trending, and they will lay out the brands that are selling well on the website for them in all sorts of categories. So check that out. It's definitely underutilized, that tool. I'm not sure how often it's updated, but it's pretty accurate. And then last but not least, Posh Hanger Deals. I think I said that right. DIEHLS. Hi. How did you figure out how to do a digital product? So I think she's referencing my digital downloads, which are available at my, this is not set up, by the way. This is a genuine question. My digital downloads are my printables. You buy the instant download, the image file from Etsy, poshbossblake.com, and you can print these out in the comfort of your own home. And there's also an option to customize them. But the question was, sorry, the light's washing that one out. The question's how I thought of that / got it going. Research. Listen, I'm not gonna give 100% of my secrets away, but I'm a hustler, so I sought it out. And I just did a lot of research on my own. I have no problem helping other people with their paths, but I mean the biggest thing, especially also with reselling, part of like, I can give you these answers and like tell you these things, but like the biggest thing, and any full-time or serious reseller will say the same, or someone who's done it for a long time, the most experience you earn is doing the thing yourself. So I can tell you, like, going back to the question about how to make sales fast, I could tell you what works for me, but you implementing what I do is not going to necessarily translate for your business. There's so many factors. There's so many instances. Talking about sales and income, there's so many, there's so many variables. So my biggest thing is I figured it out because I wanted to I wanted to create something that people could have, but I also didn't have to physically have, like, physical inventory because I don't have the space. So my lack of space and my desire to have a product led me to wanting to create these for people, especially in the reselling community, because right now you can add a cute little thank you note. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just says, thanks so much for your purchase. Appreciate the business. Blake, bye. You know, people appreciate that, especially now. I know it's something that will be tossed in the recycle, but it could lead to a potential repeat buyer. It will help with positive feedback. It will help with 5-star reviews. Someone, when they see a handwritten note, is more likely to reach out to you if there's an issue, instead of immediately filing like a return or like an issue, a claim. So, I mean, if you want to do something, like, now's the time to research it all, digital product or not. Did you see that? Oh my god. Oh my god, this video is so long, it's gonna take forever to upload. Sorry. These seeds are like, oh, no joke. Yeah, I think expand your horizons. Don't think so narrow. Like, don't focus in solely on just like reselling. But I mean, saying that, it's like, I have a passion for design. So for me, designing these things is where I enjoyed it. And then I was able to turn that into something where I could make money and support myself. So I think it's important that whatever you're pursuing, you have a little bit of passion or like towards, because that will make it so much easier. Because if I say you can do this, it's like, do this, 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 and this. Great, you might be able to do it, but you're gonna be like, I hate doing this. I mean, I'm 30 years old. I've worked many jobs. I've uprooted my life to make it better, and I've learned a lot. I have a lot of life experience. I know I said that, and I'm 30 years old, but I've done a lot of things that a lot of people have not, and I've had a lot of experiences that other people have not. So that lends it to you know, in general, I'm a more independent person. I've always, in my settings, been the person that says, you know, you want it, go out and figure out a way to get it. You can have anything you want. Things are, adapt that to current circumstances, but you can try to get everything you want. It's, you know, the work you put in, the research behind it, the passion behind it, the drive, you know? I'm trying to think of a show right now. I'm trying to think, like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So this was like a very, oh my God, another seed, I'm sorry. This is a very good amount of questions, you guys. There's more, but I'm at 47 minutes. So before we get to 49, oh my God, that's gonna be crazy. I just wanna say thank you so much for having lunch with me today. I'm gonna finish the rest of my lunch because we had so much to get through. And I will talk to you guys next week for lunch. I'm thinking again, maybe on Monday. Maybe we'll do Monday and Friday lunches. Does that sound good? That seems to be a good schedule. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Feel free to leave me questions for next week's videos, and I will try to answer them. Oh my God, look. I'm so not that person, trust me. But once someone did ask about Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is going okay. It's not, I haven't been perfect, but I'm trying, based on what's going on. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for next week's video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.